After weeks of speculation and intense criticism, Tom Aspinall has officially broken his silence, and he did it by firing back at his critics with undeniable proof. He posted his actual medical report, confirming that he's been diagnosed with bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome. And get this, doctors found what they describe as significant orbital soft tissue trauma, along with a possible fracture of his right medial orbital wall. This isn't just some minor issue, it's a serious, documented injury that completely clears up any lingering doubts about how badly he was hurt in that fight. For anyone who was calling him a quitter, this medical report is a massive reality check.
When do you think you can start training again?
Look, it's not up to me. It's up to the doctors. At the minute, I ain't allowed to do nothing, so I'm just following advice at the moment.
What's next?
What's next for me right now is there's talk of surgery on the eyes. We've got to see how it goes over the next few weeks. Obviously, that's down to the specialists and stuff, but I'm not in the gym training at the moment. I'm not doing anything MMA-wise at the moment. I'm just following the doctor's orders right now and seeing what happens with the health.
How do you sort of see this going forward for yourself with the UFC?
I think right now we just got to focus on the health, innit? We just got to get everything back to normal, follow the doctor's orders, and that's all I can control right now. So we'll cross that bridge when I'm feeling better and everything's right.
In the wake of this serious diagnosis, Tom Aspinall has revealed that he is completely stepping away from training to put his entire focus on his health. This isn't just taking a few days off, this is a full stop. He even disclosed that he might need to undergo eye surgery, which is an incredibly scary prospect for any fighter. Aspinall was crystal clear, emphasizing that for the time being, his #1 priority is recovery and making sure he's in the absolute best condition possible before even thinking about fighting again. He explained that all other aspects of his career, from returning to the gym to planning future fights, are on the back burner until his health improves. He's taking this whole ordeal one crucial step at a time.
Look, when I watched the fight back, that's when I really got the gist of what's going on. The guy was trying to poke my eyes out all the way through that round. Multiple exchanges, nearly every exchange that I could put him in danger. He had his fingers out pointing towards my eyes. The guy was cheating from the first second. And the way that he wanted to win that fight was to have me compromised by cheating. My thoughts on him, I think he's a big cheater. Look at all his fights. Even Jon Jones himself, even the GOAT himself said before he fought him that Sorogan's a cheater and uses dirty tactics.
Veteran fighter Wade Plemons has also reacted to Tom Aspinall's medical report, and he did so with genuine, palpable concern, calling the situation far more serious than anyone initially realized. He sent a direct message to anyone accusing Tom of quitting or faking the injury, telling them to seriously reconsider their stance. Why? Because if the diagnosis is truly Brown syndrome, it might not be something that can ever be fully fixed. Plemons laid it out in stark terms, saying an issue like that could severely limit Tom's ability to compete and could potentially put his entire career in jeopardy. His exact words were, "Holy shit, this is serious." For all the people that said Tom was a quitter or faking it, if he really has Brown syndrome, I don't know if that can even be resolved, and that would severely hamper him fighting to the point that his fighting career is essentially over. On top of that, Aspinall himself is now accusing Cyril Gane of fighting dirty, claiming that devastating eye poke was no accident. He explained that after re-watching the footage, everything became crystal clear. He noted that throughout the round, Gane repeatedly extended his fingers toward his eyes, especially during moments when he was put in danger. Aspinall argued this wasn't just a one-off mistake but a clear pattern of behavior, insisting Gane was actively trying to compromise him with illegal tactics. He even brought up Jon Jones, pointing out that the sport's GOAT had warned everyone about Gane's habits long before their own fight ever happened.
Things need to change in the sport of MMA when it comes to fouls. I'm obviously very keen to get back and beat this guy up. I've got to be 100% right, so whenever the eye's good to go, that's when I'll do it. A lot of haters out there who are living some very sad lives, who think they're eye doctors. I'll double eye poke you full blast in the eyes and see if you can still write some grim comment on Instagram. You let me know, you tough guys out there.
Following the incident, Tom Aspinall is stressing that the sport of MMA desperately needs real, meaningful changes when it comes to handling fouls, particularly the persistent problem of eye pokes. He's made it absolutely clear that he wants a rematch with Cyril Gane, but he's not rushing back. He stated that a rematch will only happen when he is 100% fully healthy, noting that he literally has to get his eyes fixed before he can even think about returning to the octagon. He also took a moment to fire back directly at the critics online, pointing out that so many of them are suddenly acting like world-renowned eye specialists, passing judgment despite having absolutely no idea what kind of serious injury he's actually dealing with.
But looking back at it now, like, what do you do with eye pokes? It happened to me, and it happens to everybody. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they need to step up and say, automatic 1 point, second time you do it, disqualifications, like no more.
And it seems he's not alone in this fight for change. The legendary Henry Cejudo also agrees and is demanding much tougher penalties for eye pokes, going so far as to propose that repeat offenders should be immediately disqualified. Triple C suggested a concrete rule change for the Nevada State Athletic Commission implement an automatic point deduction for the very first offense, no warnings, no excuses. And if that same fighter commits a second violation in the same fight, that's it. Enforce an immediate disqualification. It's a hardline stance that many believe could finally curb this dangerous problem.
I mean, he had Tom bloodied up, and you know, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So, who gives a?
What do you think about Dana White saying Tom didn't continue, and then also, who gives it to eye pokes?
Well, listen, I didn't continue. I'll tell you why I didn't continue. Because I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not going to go out there and fight one of the best strikers in the world if I can't see.
With double vision?
With any eye. As an MMA fighter, look, things are going to happen in the fight that compromise you. Go back and watch my fight with Arlovsky. The end of the first round, he punched me right in the eyeball.
Final 20 seconds of the first round. Oh! Big right from Arlovsky.
For the rest of that fight, I couldn't see him out that eye. That's fine. If you get punched or kicked in the eye, that's fine.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall reacted very strongly to Dana White's comment, suggesting that he didn't want to continue, explaining that his decision had nothing to do with fear and everything to do with basic safety. He clarified the obvious. He simply couldn't fight one of the world's most elite strikers while suffering from double vision. Think about it, having compromised vision in a regular situation is bad enough, but in the world of MMA, it can lead to incredibly dangerous, potentially career-ending situations that no fighter should be forced into.
Double eye poked in both eyes and you've got no vision because of a foul. Why should I carry on so some dummy can look and say, oh yeah, Tom just got knocked out? Because I ain't going to fight if I can't see anything because of a foul. If it's a little illegal move, we have to fight through it. That's what we do as fighters. But when it's a foul, why am I going to put my health at risk when I can't see at all?
So you're not too happy then on what the president of the organisation is saying towards it?
Well, what do you think?
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So,
look, we all know who is at fault here. What the are you talking about, huh?
Expanding on that point, Tom Aspinall doubled down, adding that his decision was purely about his health and his safety in the cage. He explained that taking not one but 2 eye pokes in both eyes left him effectively blind and completely unable to see his opponent clearly. Continuing to fight under those conditions wouldn't have been tough. It would have been absolutely reckless. Aspinall emphasized that while fighters are often expected to push through minor fouls, this was different. When a serious foul completely compromises your vision, risking your long-term health becomes completely unreasonable. He also expressed deep frustration that the organization's own president seemed to misrepresent the situation so badly, insisting it was painfully clear to everyone watching who was actually at fault for the fight-ending foul.
Being poked in the eye is illegal, Brendan, but to fight with one eye is very common. The opponent's trying to hit your eye. He's trying to bust up and make your nose bleed. So that part of it does have question for guys like Anthony and I. We're trying to be polite. We're trying to show grace. But in all fairness, if you're the heavyweight champion of the world, you got to fight with one eye at a time.
But of course, there's always another side to the story. In this case, it comes from Chael Sonnen, who thinks Tom Aspinall should have toughed it out and continued fighting despite the eye poke from Cyril Gane. Sonnen argues from an old-school perspective, claiming that fighting with impaired vision is just part of the sport. In his view, this is especially true for a heavyweight champion who is expected to endure and adapt to incredibly difficult circumstances inside that cage, no matter what they are.
I felt like the fight was going okay. It was going pretty much to plan. I think that, look, there was this big notion in the media before that I'm just going to run through Ciryl Gane. Look, I might look like an idiot. Sometimes I might even talk like an idiot. But when it comes to fighting, I know what I'm talking about. And I know that Ciryl Gane is a tough matchup for me. Really good defensively. I knew that if we want to break the fight down a little bit, Cyryl's got really good defense. He moves really, really well on his feet. I knew that I have to stand in range and take a few punches from Ciryl to be able to land my own shots. I thought it was going to be a 5-round fight. Go and look at my pre-fight stuff. I knew this was going to be a long and tough fight.
Tom Aspinall also took the time to respond directly to the fans and critics who were claiming he was losing the fight to Ciryl Gane before the foul occurred. He pushed back hard on that narrative, saying the fight was actually going exactly according to his plan. He explained that his strategy involved intentionally staying in range, even if it meant taking some punches from Gane. The whole idea was to absorb a few shots to create the openings he needed to land his own powerful strikes, a classic case of sacrificing a little to gain a lot.
And Tom, when Tom gets hurt, it's like he's like immediately incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
He shut down.
It's like you poke my eye and then he's like immediately, there's no like.
He never tried to look. It was rag on the eye immediately.
Dude, I was looking the silliest looking cat on national TV, just
trying. He didn't try.
Trying.
He didn't try.
Same thing with Curtis Blaze. When he hurt his knee, there was no limping, there was no trying to get up. It was just like immediately.
Yep.
Burn my village. I can't go on. Like,
he doesn't have the dog in him. Yeah, that killer be killed.
Immediately quits.
Yeah.
When he got tapped out with an ankle lock, there was no trying to fight his hands. There was no trying to. He immediately quit.
You see the pattern of it.
Immediately.
Yeah. And I noticed the profile pic change, and then you had some on your horse too, similar.
Yeah.
What's with that?
I'm just having fun.
You having fun with the eye patches?
I'm having fun with it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, he had at it with me. He had a long time coming at me. So it's to keep the fans engaged.
Of course.
On the other hand, while a lot of MMA pros had initially criticized Tom for quitting the fight, the release of his medical reports has completely flipped the script, proving to many that Aspinall absolutely did the right thing. However, Jon Jones was one of those who didn't miss the opportunity to take a shot at Tom Aspinall's resilience after the UFC 3021 eye poke controversy. Jones argues that Tom has a pattern of folding the moment real adversity hits. To make his case, he pointed to the freak injury in the Curtis Blades fight and an even earlier ankle lock defeat as prime examples of Aspinall shutting down instead of pushing through the pain. As for that infamous profile picture of a duck with an eye patch, Jones brushed it off, describing it as just some harmless banter meant to entertain the fans after Tom had repeatedly called him out.
I'm gonna tell you something about Jon Jones. Jon Jones is the most methodical fighter that ever stepped foot inside the UFC. His mind is totally different from ours. He knows exactly what he's doing when he does it. He knows exactly what he's doing. I know he trains that shit. I know that's his defense mechanism. It is. It's when you're advancing on him and you get
away so that you can't reach me. I don't got this long guard. You can't reach me. You know?
And I can poke you in the eyes. He's doing it on purpose. He's done interviews about it.
And said he did it on purpose?
He said, yeah.
Stop. He ain't said that.
Yeah.
I want you to show me the interview. He said, I
saw
saw
a clip the other day. You can tell. You can look. And he said, and he said it might be illegal and stuff like that, but he said, hey, it works. He does it on purpose. Trust me.
However, offering a fascinating and damning perspective, Quinton Rampage Jackson claims that Jon Jones himself deliberately uses eye pokes as a calculated defensive tactic. He describes Jones as one of the most methodical and analytical fighters in UFC history, with a unique approach to everything he does. Rampage went on to explain that Jones actually practices this move intentionally, using it strategically as a deterrent when opponents try to close the distance. This explosive claim reframes the eye poke not as an accident, but as a planned, practiced element of his defensive arsenal.
I really have gotten to a point in fighting where I feel as if I'm in a position that I have a lot more to lose than to gain. That's just me being honest. That's not being a coward or whatever. That's just the truth. almost 40 years old now in a combat sport, very physical sport.
Yeah.
I have to do things that make the right decision, you know, and fighting just to continue fighting doesn't make sense to me anymore. I feel as if I can earn money outside of punching people.
Yeah.
And to challenge myself in that way means more to me now than to fight again. But to be at the White House is the reason why I'm out of retirement. It has nothing to do with Aspinall or Pereira or anybody. It was the White House. The idea of being a part of something so historical means more to me than a few extra $1 million or another win in the win column.
Yeah.
It means the world to me.
Meanwhile, Jon Jones also decided to clarify exactly why he turned down a massive $30 million offer to fight Tom Aspinall. His explanation is pretty shocking. He said that at nearly 40 years old, he feels there's far more to lose than to gain by staying active in the sport. He was blunt, saying the risk just isn't worth the reward at this stage of his legendary career. And here's the kicker. He revealed that his entire motivation for returning from retirement isn't about a matchup with Aspinall or even Alex Pereira. Instead, it's driven by the very specific, personal goal of getting the chance to visit the White House.
I've never been to the White House. I've had many opportunities to go and visit the White House. I've never taken anyone up on it, but to compete there, to warm up inside of the White House, and to walk out
through the Oval Office.
I think they said it would be on the South Lawn.
Yeah, I think you would walk out through the Oval Office into the South Lawn.
It would earn me some major points with my friends too. I'm friends with some of our country's top military veterans, and I know that they would find it to be very, very cool.
Yeah,
very, very cool. So for me, it's like some of my motivations aren't traditional anymore. You know, I don't think I care about what most fighters would care about.
Yeah.
Most fighters wouldn't turn down $30 million. They just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
My goals are different than other people's at these days.
Yeah.
And White House would be something for my personal bucket list that would just...
Digging deeper into that mindset, Jon Jones explains that his motivations have fundamentally changed and no longer align with what drives most other fighters. He openly admits that turning down a $30 million payday would sound absolutely insane to most people, but his priorities are just different now. For Jones, the historic opportunity to be recognized at the White House is a personal milestone that in his mind means far more than any prize money or any single fight could.
I haven't said yes or no to anybody yet, but I can't put Jon Jones in a position where he can, you know.
Right. You can't let this get canceled.
I had a deal with him. We had a deal to fight Tom Aspinall.
Really?
Oh. Yeah, we had a deal.
What happened?
And he said, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But here's where the story takes a wild turn. Dana White has now made it clear that Jon Jones will not be included on the UFC's much-anticipated White House card, specifically because he pulled out of the planned fight with Tom Aspinall. Dana said the agreement was already in place, but Jones ultimately chose not to follow through with the fight. White then stressed that for a landmark event like this, he needs fighters who will stick to their commitments and can be absolutely trusted to show up when it counts, implying Jones failed that test. It raises the question, is Dana really saying no to Jon Jones for this historic event?
It's a more matter of legacy. What would make more sense?
Yep.
Do you fight the guy who is impressive right now, who no one, I don't think, is going to really care about a few years from now? Or do you fight the guy who's going to be remembered around the world for a very long time? I mean, in Brazil, Pereira is an absolute idol right now. Pereira, literally, one of the only things he says is trauma.
Yeah.
And people are, trauma! No one even knows what it means.
Yeah.
But he has that it factor, and that's a part of the reason why I wanted to compete against Pereira. The brand that he represents, the energy that he has behind him, will be remembered more than just 5 years from now.
Yeah.
For example, Aspinall just had a close fight, and people are already writing him off.
Yeah.
It seems Dana's stance is firm. I can't be in that position. I gotta have someone. Meanwhile, Jon Jones has been explaining that his choice to pursue Alex Pereira over Tom Aspinall comes down to one thing: legacy. He wants a matchup that will be talked about and remembered for decades to come, not just a fight that looks good on paper in the moment. In his view, Pereira is a true national icon in Brazil, a fighter who possesses a rare aura and star power that creates a lasting impact on the sport. Jones contrasts this with other fighters who, even after putting on competitive performances, are often forgotten within just a few years. He believes Pereira's presence and influence will remain significant long into the future, making that the fight that truly matters for his legacy.
What could have been if Tom Aspinall goes out there and wins? What happens to his career after that? That's the Jon Jones potential fight at the White House. Like, there's so much that Tom missed out on because of that. Super unfortunate, sad, and it would have made the heavyweight division it would have made it a lot more fun. I mean, the whole division's been so crazy with Jon Jones. You know, he defended an interim belt, Tom Aspinall. It's like, what do you? I mean, Jon Jones is done. Alex Pereira, he's probably not moving up to heavyweight. Like, you just rematch that fight. You know, the crowd was insanely loud, so it was like, I guess it was a big fight, but do you watch it again? Do you make that fight again? Jon doesn't want to fight Tom. Alex doesn't want to fight Tom. Man, yeah, I don't even know what you do with that fight. I think Dana said he's gonna make a rematch.
Furthermore, current bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley expressed that he felt genuinely sorry for Tom Aspinall after the eye poke prematurely ended the fight, believing the incident flat out robbed him of a colossal opportunity. Sean started to imagine how different the entire landscape of the heavyweight division could have been if Tom had won that night. A victory could have set up a massive, legacy-defining fight with Jon Jones and injected a whole new level of energy into the division. O'Malley reflected on just how unpredictable and chaotic the division had become, openly wondering what direction it would take next, especially since both Jones and Alex Pereira didn't seem interested in facing Aspinall. He admitted the whole situation has left more questions than answers about what the future holds for the heavyweights.
I was as disappointed as anybody else. And I think at first, I really was kind of on the side of, man, Tom, like, come on, you got to step up. This is a main event, this heavyweight title. Take as much time as you need, but get back in there. I think when I saw the poke and how bad it was and the fact that it compromised both eyes, it was ugly. And you're right, that only Tom Aspinall really knows. Could he have continued? And I think I talked to a few people about this, and somebody brought up a really good point to me that, let's say that he could kind of see, but it was not great 100%, and you're in there with a guy like Cyril Gane who's on point. He's on point. You haven't been in the octagon in a really long time, and now you're compromised. And even if you maybe can continue, you know, I think there was a part of it that was like, I'm not fighting this guy with not 100% vision.
UFC commentator and fighter Paul Felder also admitted that he was initially incredibly frustrated by the eye poke and, like many fans, thought Tom Aspinall should have continued fighting in that heavyweight title bout. However, his entire perspective shifted once he saw the true severity of the injury and realized that both of Aspinall's eyes were seriously affected. He explained that at the end of the day, only Aspinall truly knew how compromised his vision was. Felder emphasized that facing a precise, surgical striker like Cyril Gane with limited or double sight would have been extremely unacceptably risky. With that new understanding, he concluded that stopping the fight wasn't just the right call, it was the smartest and safest decision Aspinall could have possibly made for his career and his future. And that officially wraps up today's deep dive into this incredible story. Hopefully you enjoyed the breakdown. Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Was Aspinall right to stop the fight? Or should he have pushed through? Let us know your honest opinions in the comments below. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest drama news, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more MMA updates and reactions. We'll see you in the next one.